All I need is one mic. That's all I need.
Please already start clapping your hands together for Mr. Bishop Ragtime! You can be my bodyguard, and I can be your long-lost friend. And I can call you Betty. Betty, when you call me, well, actually, you can't call me anything. See, I was the shy one that was always dateless to the popular dances. I was that fifth wheel always bypassed in favor of those brick houses that were prostituted in brochures just so they could become those ones that dance on the street lights for Sinatra anthems. Every single day, I always hoped that you would notice that I've always been around and always been there for you. Simply waiting for the day that you might actually notice that I was there and focus on how good I was instead of focusing on my flaws, like the cracks in my foundation from lacks of powder. Maybe you would ignore those lack of curves during my awkward adolescence. Maybe someday you wouldn't say something about those dead-end splits from those rush hour jobs to fix the cracks in my smile. All the while, I just wanted you to acknowledge me and realize I've always been your first responder. Instead, you chose to ignore those past childhood advances where we could actually have a romance simply to allow lapdogs to grant golden showers upon my body. Coat me with oils that never seemed to wash off. Every single time that I saw you, I hope that you would simply remember my name and know that I was kind of like your God, even though I was that nerdy girl that you never wanted to talk to. So you never understood when I said that I was your first responder. It meant that I was the one that helped you and watched you advance from those that walked on 4 to those that walked on 2. I was your monolith that helped you advance from simians stuck in sandstone to the simpletons who play on Samsungs all day long, never casting your eye up to the skies until that one fateful day that you realized that the twins had fallen. You screamed my name the day that Babylon burned. I found it surprising how you so rapidly tried to clutch onto my sides as stones fell off in Brooklyn, watching as wormwood started to come. Finally, your Bible verses were ready for you, tailor-made, and all you needed was someone to save you, and all of a sudden the ugly duckling has become your personal Christ. Watching as the crow's feet fault lines grew amongst the flames, I almost started to chuckle as you screamed out my name, hoping that somehow I could keep you away from a newborn, hoping somehow I could keep you away from a born-again Christian baptism in plexiglass and diesel fuel fire flames. Watched you sit there, transform me off into a gravel pit graveyard of broken bones seeking broken owners of their bodies, hoping that maybe as they dove out of 70-foot windows they can compose a brand new Alicia Keys I Love New York war chant anthem just so they could show they actually love their city. And I still laugh hysterically, remembering those times that you cried out to a deity that just like I yesterday, you chose to ignore when all we simply wanted was your adoration and your acknowledgement. I have always fucking been here for you. Watch you tramp over my streets, watch you walk over my sides, watch you piss in my corners, and right now, because of one tragedy, I'm the most beloved thing that you have in your hearts. You should be shameful of yourself. Using my street corners as shoulders to hang your heads every single second week of September, hoping that somehow you can reclaim your past glory, whitewashing all my scars in hopes that you can poach those bad dust bunnies. Maybe somehow you can find that old life that you had, and maybe somehow you can actually act like you loved me the way that you should have when I was your Moses, instead of those days you treated me as the misfit that made you late for work. You son of a bitch, you should have loved me from the start. So next time you call my name, remember those days that you made fun of me like I was the nerdy schoolgirl in high school that didn't fit in your oh so uber cool crowd. Remember those days before the towers fell. Remember before Babylon burned. Remember before you gave me a moniker known as Ground Zero. And remember the fact that God and I have always been here, and I've always been your first responder. And even though this reunion is bittersweet, just remember this as well. You can be my bodyguard, and I'll still be your long-lost friend. And I can call you Betty, but Betty, when you call me by the right name. The streets of New York City. Yeah. Thank you. First time ever, this is called Sunshine in a Cup. We dance like we know how, oblivious to the stares and statements from outsiders who practice sobriety on a regular. Our only concern is when it's the next refill, because this night is too innocent to try to comprehend. Clarity is for you weak-minded. I'm at home loitering bar stools and pub crawling to the next hangover, swallowing the ghost of my past mistakes made like watermelon-flavored self-hatred. It's my never land. This is where sins and self-image weed themselves out of my field of vision like late poppies. Waiting for prescriptions of beer goggles and circus costumes made by Prada. This is what I was built for. Listening to the tribal drums beat off symphonies of toxic tangos within my line of eyesight, blurring that fiction that I'm forced to live with monosyllabic chants of Motown samples that try to move the crowd, more than scriptures that are sped read on Sunday mornings. Forgive me, Pastor, but my bar tab is my collection plate. We sanctify our offerings with sloppy handshakes, trying to high-five with our alter egos. Bar tabs beget our calling cards, trying to find our lost inner retards that are lost within recesses of our adult lives, yearnings for our childhood when we were foolish and we've never truly outgrown. Come back to your playground. Barkeep, one more cup please. Before that clock strikes last call, before Cinderella twerks to Jesus Shuttleworth on the dance floor. Lust is an organ grinder monkey on our back, pantomiming friendship to painted faces and short skirts who smell soluble within one-night stands. I need this. It makes me a man when a man I can no longer be. Please, pour me one more sunset in a cup. Help me find solace amongst flashing lights, drowning in these last ounces of Jesus juice. You are my Baptist John. I want to continue dancing with wolves and running with beer. It's the only life that I've ever known. Just don't let my daughter find out. Pour me one more sunshine in a cup. This lifestyle was made for those of us who don't practice sobriety. All we want to know is if you can dance and act like you know how to. Thank you.